How do you start a conversation? Honestly, it can be difficult, especially if it's a tricky topic. And that's what we're talking about today, how to start a conversation effectively to create connection. I'm Sarah King, and I have a lot of questions. In this show, I get to ask WakeMed doctors any question I want, and bless their hearts, they have all the answers. Sarah Has Questions is a production of Mix 101.5 and Capital Broadcasting Company, and it's presented by WakeMed. It's really hard to start conversations sometimes, and that's what we're talking about today, is how to start a conversation. In fact, well, first of all, we have Dr. Micah Krempasky back, and I believe this is your 6th time with us, which is nuts.
Amazing.
You're just so good at what you do.
Oh,
you are a psychiatrist at WakeMed, and here at CBC, where we're recording this, we have a book that is handed out to everybody called Crucial Conversations.
Oh, yeah.
Which is how to start a difficult conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're talking about today.
Yes.
So we hear a lot about loneliness right now and how people are feeling really disconnected, which is surprising given social media. And,
Right.
but we really kind of are looking at other people's lives from the outside in. Why is it so important that humans connect face to face?
Yes. I do think it's super interesting that in the age of connection and
Ultra
technology,
connection,
that we're feeling lonelier than ever. And that's particularly worrisome because what we know is connection is actually the thing that leads to happiness. So one of the longest longitudinal studies that we have around what makes people happy shows that it's not wealth, it's not career, but it's the relationships and the depth of the relationships of the people that are around you that lead to both happiness and longevity. And so thinking about how we create human connection is incredibly important if we're really thinking about what's going to lead to ultimate happiness.
Well, I mean, I know we're talking about conversation. I guess this does fall into it, but how is a face-to-face interaction different than perhaps DMing someone?
Yes. So I think it's all about connection. So we think about, and sometimes we confuse those between conversations and connection. So conversation can take on a lot of different forms. You can have a conversation via text message, or you can have a conversation face to face, but it's how we create the human connection around that. And I think about that. Like my daughter's in college now, and I love to talk to her, but I also feel super connected to her when she texts me. Like I can keep up with her daily life. Like that is a touch point with her. But it's not the end-all be-all of our relationship. I also want to see her. I want to share space with her. So I don't think it has to be one or the other. I think that we can create connection in a variety of ways.
But from what I'm hearing from you, though, it works best, though, if you have like a mix.
Well, I think it's just however the connection is made. How do you create the relationship in a way that you really know one another and feel that connection?
Yeah, I find that when I make a real connection with someone is when I leave a conversation, however it happens, feeling charged.
Yes.
In a good way.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm like, you just fed my soul in that moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so how do we get to that place? And that's easier for some people than others.
Yeah, I can imagine. So let's say you're one of those people who, an introvert. It's hard for you to find connection easily.
Yes.
So are there small things you can do, gestures even, that can help you get to that connection point?
Yes. So I met this amazing lady recently who told me about something that she does, and she calls it the Strawberry Bonbon Project. So
Sounds delicious.
Right? She heard about someone who created these small moments of connection with candy. And so she started buying the little strawberry candies. I guess they're called strawberry bonbons.
Are they the ones that have the strawberry wrapper?
Yes. So So she started buying strawberry bonbons and sticking them in her pocket, in her book bag, whatever it was. And then when she would see someone that she wanted to connect with, or someone that she thought was having a bad day or that might need the strawberry bonbon, then she would walk up to them and give them a piece of candy.
Oh.
And she said from the time that she's been doing this, the amount of connections that she has made has been incredible.
Wow.
That it was a super easy way for her to start a conversation with someone. And she said that actually 4 separate people have told her that it changed their lives, even saved their lives.
Oh my God.
Because they were so desperate at that moment, feeling so alone. But her walking up to them with a piece of candy changed everything for them.
Wow.
And then she also shared of of all the conversations that she's been able to engage in just from that moment of, sharing this piece of candy with them.
That's interesting. And so when it comes to, that gesture works. I'll tell you one thing for me that works, and I don't do it on purpose with saying I need to connect. Like, I can't help myself, but I'm a major extrovert.
Yes, that's
abundantly clear.
Yes, abundantly clear. And, I see that as well. And that's how I am. So I have to be really thoughtful about how I help others who that doesn't come easily for, or they don't get charged by it. It can be exhausting for some people.
Well, I give compliments. I can't help myself. Like, if I see a color combo that is unusual but works, I'm like, girl, your colors are working,
Yes.
And sometimes people will expand on whatever is happening. Like, oh, this was my grandmother's.
Yes. So you connect via a shared like of something.
Okay.
Like, oh, I really like your clothes. And then you feel good because you've shared joy with them. And they feel good because they feel seen and they feel special. And so that works for both of you. And then the conversation that can go from there, it can be really powerful as well.
Okay, so let's say, and it's so funny you mentioned candy, because one of the most difficult conversations I've ever had was with a chef when I worked in restaurants. I was the manager, and we did not get along. He did not like me from day one. I don't know why. And so I got him, I knew he liked candy, a giant bag of candy.
Oh.
And I was like, this is my peace offering to you.
Did it work?
No, he was still a jerk by the end of it. But my question coming off of that is, how do you start a conversation like a difficult one? That it may feel trivial to start off with candy. Like, how do you go about bridging that gap?
Yeah, so I think that can often be with people that are the closest to us, right?
Yeah.
Like, it is one thing about walking up to a stranger and saying, I like your shirt, or here's a strawberry candy.
Correct.
That's different than the conversations that happen at home or with people that you really care about. And those can be much trickier. And so I always like to do it from a place of curiosity. So I'm really careful about the questions that I ask, and I really try to explore what's going on for them or what they're thinking about. So I don't go at it with my own biases or like what I want to get out of the conversation. I don't go in it with, I want you to say I'm sorry, or I want you to admit that you're wrong. I rather approach it by starting to understand their perspective. So again, curiosity.
Less I statements, more you statements.
Yes, or I wonder. I use I wonder statements. I wonder what happened when you did this, or I wonder what you were thinking.
Right. So ask them about themselves instead of coming at it from I need.
Yes. Yes.
It's more about what they are doing, and that's helpful, at least for me.
Or to understand their perspective. I think people really want to feel seen, heard, and understood. So how can you ask questions that you can understand their perspective on something?
Right. What are the best kind of questions to make a connection?
Yeah. So I spend a lot of time as a psychiatrist. All I have are my questions and my conversation. You know, and in the rest of medicine, they have robots and tools and x-rays and all sorts of things. But in psychiatry, all we have is the conversation. And so asking a question is an art form.
I have never thought of it that way, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Like, you can't see a thought in any kind of scan.
No, absolutely not. So it's all about how I get the information I need from you from our conversation. So again, making people comfortable to share is really, really important. And so how you ask a question, so important, and an art form. So first of all, it's always open-ended questions. Well, not always. Like if you want to get at information and you don't know what it's going to be, you want people to share whatever it is they're thinking, then it's an open-ended question.
What do you mean by open-ended?
Yep. So you are not trying to get to a specific answer. So let me give you an example. Someone walks in the door, and it's always common to say, how was your day?
Sure.
So if someone walks in and you say, did you have a good day? Well, first of all, that's a yes/no question.
Right.
Yes or no? That's what the question asked, right? And now the conversation's over. The second thing about that question is that you insinuated that they should have had a good day.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have a good day? So if they didn't have a good day, now there's like, oh, will I disappoint them? Like, was I supposed to have a good day?
There was an expectation.
There was an expectation. So now you have set up for a single word answer, and you have set up an expectation.
Oh, fascinating.
Of what the answer is going to be.
So, based on what you just told me,
what would you say?
I would ask, how was your day?
Yeah, that's a good one. So then, but that gets us to good, or bad?
Darn it. What should I have asked?
Yeah. So what if you said, what was the best thing about your day?
Oh.
Or what was the worst thing about your day?
Oh.
Or even broader would be, tell me about your day.
Ah. Well, when I do that to my son, he tells me he forgot.
Oh, wow. Okay, so kids and parents
Kids are
coming
different.
out, yes, that can be really complicated. And that's a really basic example, but always think about what your question, like what answer is it getting you to? And is there judgment or expectation in the question that you're asking?
I never thought about did you have a good day? No. Was I supposed to? Yeah.
Right, exactly.
That's fascinating to me. So is there like a perfect script to ask someone if they're having a bad day? Is there a better way to say things to get the right connection?
Yeah, so my question would be how do you know they're having a bad day? So if you go in, my husband does this, and it'd be like, well, it seems like you're having a bad day,
Ooh,
right? Like those are
directed.
fighting words.
Yes.
Like, no, actually, I'm not having a bad day.
But I'm getting ready to, and you
Exactly,
definitely are.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that any assumption that we're making is correct. So I actually try not to make assumptions. And so you just inquire, again, go back to that place of curiosity. How are things for you today?
Yeah.
Like what's going on for you? So really just trying to go at it more neutrally than going in with the pointed, well, it seems like you're having a bad day.
Yeah, I mean, that is loaded.
Yes.
Though I just had the thought that what it must be like to be married to a psychiatrist. I mean,
Yes.
any question you ask is loaded because you're going to pick it apart.
My family does say that it is a special gift is what they say to be raised. My kids say raised by a psychiatrist. And my husband was like, don't try that psychobabble stuff on me. It does not work. But it does.
I've just crafted it in a way you don't know I'm doing it.
Exactly. When I get busted, then I'm in trouble. But in general, I can slip it in.
Good for you. Last question. What is a tiny moment of connection someone can create today that might make a bigger difference than they realize?
Yeah. So thinking about kind of the theory behind the Strawberry Bonbon Project, I think you can really do a lot of things just walking through your day. So at WakeMed, we actually have this unwritten rule that when you're walking down the hallway, you shouldn't be on your cell phone.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if it's really a rule or not. Like, it just seems like that happens, so I follow it.
Okay.
And so it's so easy to be checking your email or a text or doing whatever
It's also
it is.
very busy. You might run into something.
Yes, but I mean, again, so many things are happening.
Sure.
I want to multitask while I'm walking down the hallway. But when I put my phone away, I lift my head, I make eye contact with people, and I smile, and then I feel better. When you make eye contact with someone and you share a smile, like that releases your endorphins and you walk away feeling better.
Yeah.
The other thing that happens is I notice people. So I am able to make that compliment of like, hey, those colors are really looking good on you today.
Right.
And now, again, I've created that connection. Or the other thing that happens is I see someone I haven't seen in a really long time, or someone that I had a question for, or someone that I've been looking forward to seeing, and I actually notice them, and I can stop and have a moment with them, all of which I would have missed if my phone had been in my face and I hadn't been paying attention.
Okay.
Same rule goes for the grocery store. Like, I really try to walk around and think about how lucky I am to be there, because, grocery shopping can be a chore.
Oh, yeah.
So I put my own headspace of, okay, I'm here. Let's be present in the moment. I make eye contact with people. I smile. I talk about random products in the aisles. Just any place that I can find a moment to connect, I think is really a special moment.
Yeah. So it's all about connection. Conversations, the whole point is connection.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the other one that I have is sometimes if you're sitting at dinner and you're having a hard time, I'm thinking about your son, and when you were saying like it's hard to get questions out of them, you can make it a ritual, like at the dinner table, to ask, kind of off-the-wall questions. You can look them up on the internet, or what are some open-ended questions to get conversations going, and make a little stack of them and say tonight, oh, what's our question going to be?
Okay.
And that's just a way that you can get to know each other better and deeper and have people think about things on a different level.
Yeah, and turn off The Simpsons.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. This was fascinating.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Of course. It's all about connection in the end. In my opinion, it's the whole purpose of the human experience. Dr. Micah Krempasky from WakeMed was my guest today. Thanks to her, yet again, for being on the show. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Sarah Has Questions and tell your friends all about the show. We'll see you next time.